Hi, this is Ken Ferry with this week's Boots in the Field. Man, did this corn jump while we were gone fishing. Really taken off in all areas. Most of the states got pretty decent rains to deal with, anywhere from 2 inches here in the middle part of the state. The guys up north, the Streeter, Kankakee area, some places 2 to 6 inches of rain. So a situation where we're all in pretty good shape, except for, I guess, south of Decatur. Our crews are down there yesterday pulling soil test, and they're struggling getting the probes in the ground. It's dry enough. So we need some rain down there in the south. But for the most part, looks like we, if nothing else, we got the rain just in time to keep this corn from stressing any more than it was itself. With the storms, though, that came through up in the northern part of the state, from that Ottawa area down through Pontiac over to Donovan, we did end up with a lot of flattened corn in those areas because of the high winds. The bad news is, of course, the corn got knocked down. The good news is most of the corn is in that 4 to 6 leaf from tasseling. So with that much growth left to go, they will straighten up quite a bit. So there'll be a lot of correction taking place, and it'll actually take place pretty fast. The main thing is we'll get that tassel upright before it comes out, so we shouldn't have too much trouble from a pollination standpoint. Yes, there's been some yield loss, and yeah, there will be some harvesting issues, but it really looks worse than it is. It'll come back and look pretty good, I think, here in the next 3 weeks or so. On the insect front, things are kind of quiet. We are finding corn borer egg masses in the non-GMO corn, so don't forget to scout this stuff. And right now the pressure looks to be light, but you know, a corn borer, they can be heavy in one field and light in another. So be watching for those egg masses on the back side of the leaves. Work with your scouting manual as far as your thresholds itself. The Japanese beetle are out feeding. So far we're mainly finding them in soybeans. They will be moving to the corn when pollination starts, but there again the pressure seems to be light. At this point with the Japanese beetle, I expect that to change itself. Probably the most calls coming in here right now are this resilient water hemp that we have out here, and boy, they're showing up everywhere. You know, these are the water hemp that made it through the first round of Roundup. It looks like now they're going to make it through the Flex Star as well, so the rescue treatment. So as rescues continue out there, though, start to watch your crop restrictions so we don't have any damage to deal with next year, especially your overlap areas and stuff like that. We're even getting some complaints coming in from some water hemp coming around the Liberty, and that's been holding pretty good up until this time, but we're getting some slippage there as well. Some of these water hemp, I'm going to tell you, are just about going to be impossible to stop with rescue sprays. That kind of leaves our options somewhat limited. We're going to have to take a look at walking beans or bringing out the row crop cultivators in our 30-inch rows and try to finish them off that way. There's two things we haven't said in a while: walking beans and row crop cultivator. Some of you younger guys may have to Google row crop cultivator so you know what one looks like. But a situation where times are tough. Now, we do have water hemp escaping in a lot of different fields, but I can tell you from experience of being out there and looking at them, the heaviest pressure is definitely coming from our 30-inch rows. And I think it might be a situation where we got late season water hemp sneaking through those fields and is starting to build up the resistance or something a little bit faster. But that is, we're having more of a tussle there than we are anywhere else. And as we're looking at the corn crop itself, we're starting to tassel in the south, and we're seeing some tasseling over in the spring lake bottoms to the west. And as we move closer to pollination, you want to make sure you scout accordingly. So you got somebody on duty that's going to be scouting these fields so we don't have any hiccups during that pollination front. The disease side is pretty quiet. We got a little bit of gray leaf showing up, but the northern has been real quiet out there. And we predicted that the northern would be heavy this year because of the inoculant from last year. But so far the weather has kept that disease at bay. It can come on pretty fast like it did 2 years ago at the end of the season. But right now the pressures are pretty light. We don't even see much anthracnose out there in these fields. So the disease side is pretty good. But after last year, we would expect the pressure to be heavier, but the weather is helping us out in that area itself. So again, we don't want you to take your eye off this crop, but it does look like it's kind of quiet on the bug and disease front for the most part in itself. Wheat yields from the south are coming in actually fairly impressive. We're starting to hear some of the wheat yields down there over 100 bushel. And even some approaching 130 and 40 bushel. So as the wheat crop continues or starts to come in, we'll see some more of those numbers. But it looks like it's been a pretty good season for the wheat crop as well. Our crews are wrapping up the summer testing next week. So again, if you haven't turned in your summer testing orders, it is now time to get that done so we can make sure we can get that all wrapped up. Don't forget, our field day is July 14th. It will be a rain or shine event here at the Crop Tech facility. We've got a lot of stuff to show you. Invites will be going out here pretty quick. With that, keep her safe, keep her moving.